So you want to work at a restaurant. I think that's great. Now, a lot of people just show up with no information about the company or the restaurant they're applying for. Maybe they've eaten there once, but they don't understand the culture or anything. It doesn't take a lot of effort to do a little bit of research, and that little bit of research that you put in can make you stand out against all the other people who are also interviewing for that exact same position. So I applaud you for being here and for taking a couple extra steps to show that you have initiative and that you want to learn about the company that you're potentially going to be working for. So there's about 5 different ways to research a restaurant, and 4 of them happen before your interview, and it's real easy. I'll show you, I'll walk you through those, and the 5th one actually happens during the interview, and I'll walk you through that as well and what types of things you should be looking for and why it matters. But before we dive into all that, I just wanted to say welcome. If this is your first time here, welcome to WaiterWise. I'm Laurel, and we provide a whole bunch of videos all about restaurant training and tools that you need to be successful in the restaurant. We're here to support you and your journey into the restaurant. And right now we're creating a lot of videos all about interview prep, because we realize that we have to get you into the restaurant and successful at that before we can help you once you're there and help train you to become better and to make more tips and all of that. Real quick, before we dive into the 5 different methods of research, I just wanted to touch on why researching is important. Because it's really not for you to go into the restaurant and have that quick conversation with the hiring manager. And when they ask you, so what do you know about this restaurant? You shouldn't be listing off, oh, this is your CEO, this is how much you make each year, this is the company culture. You know, they know all of that. They work for the restaurant. You, on the other hand, are just trying to get a feel of whether it's a good fit for you. So that's really what research comes down to, is to get you excited and passionate about this restaurant and to figure out whether it really is a place that you want to work and a place that you want to be representative of as an employee of it. So that's really what we're trying to do with the research process. So depending on whether you're applying for a chain restaurant or kind of a smaller, maybe individually run restaurant, this might be a little bit different, but there should be some variation that you can follow along with to make sure that you're getting a good look at the insider's view of what that restaurant is really going to be like and what working for the restaurant's going to feel like. So we're going to start with LinkedIn. Now, if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, I'm going to encourage you to pause this video right now and go create one, because LinkedIn is just the way the business world connects. If you're trying to get to know about a company and you want to see what's happening, what's behind the scenes, it's just the perfect place to get that insider's look. So they're gonna have some blog posts, probably some videos, some things about new menu items, maybe things about the culture of the people who work there. So it's just a good way to get a better understanding of what's happening at that company. And while you're on LinkedIn, you might as well connect with the WaiterWise community, because we're also trying to stay in the loop of what's going on in the restaurant industry and keep in current with all the different trends. So after we've gone to their LinkedIn profile, we're gonna head onto that company's homepage and we're gonna see what is it they're all about? What is the main thing that they're trying to teach people through their homepage that represents who they are? And so you're just gonna wanna spend a couple minutes just looking at it, just kind of reading some of the writing and just kind of getting a feel for that restaurant and what it is they're trying to publicly display to the rest of the world. While you're on the website, I'm gonna send you to 2 more places. The first place is going to be their careers page. Most restaurants will have a work with us or join our team or start your career here, some sort of a page like that. And on that page, they'll probably have some sort of a description of the company culture and some sort of a way of describing what kind of person would be a great fit for their restaurant. So it's a little bit salesy, I understand that, but it's a good thing for you to read through and be familiar with, because as you're reading through that, you're able to see, is this a good fit or not? Do I enjoy this kind of culture? You know, are they passionate about the things that you're passionate about? So that's what you're able to kind of see while you're looking through that employment page. I'm also gonna suggest that you dig a little bit deeper and actually find a job description for the role you're applying for. So if you're applying for a server job, there's gonna be some way for you to see what a server position job description is going to be, and just read through that line by line. Because as you get familiar with that, you're gonna see things that you might not expect on there. You know, most stuff you might have a good idea of what to expect, but there might be some things that are like, what do they mean I'm working with a cash register? I thought I was a server. And so that becomes a great question to clarify with the hiring manager when you're actually going into that interview. So you just want to make sure that everything feels right and looks good and that you're kind of familiar with all of those things. Now, the second place I'm going to send you on the company's website is to the menu. You would be surprised how many people go into restaurant interviews and they've never seen the menu before. Or maybe they've come to the restaurant once or twice as a guest, but they really don't understand what the restaurant's core items are and what they're serving and kind of what the overall is. And so spending a couple minutes just reading through the menu, getting familiar with a couple of the most popular dishes is really going to help you. Because sometimes in restaurant interviews, the hiring manager is going to ask you to sell them a dish. And if you don't have any idea what is on the menu, that's really hard to do. So you're just better to spend a little bit of time becoming a little bit familiar and to have picked out something where you're like, this looks interesting. I'd like to try this when I'm at the restaurant. And then you have something to talk about if you are asked. So the third place I'm going to send you is a little bit dicey, but I'm going to send you there anyways. And this is Yelp. Basically, you have to take Yelp with a grain of salt because we all know that people who write Yelp reviews have strong opinions. So they may not always represent the restaurant and everybody who's eaten at the restaurant. Usually they don't. But that being said, you're still better to get an overview of what people are saying about the restaurant. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You want to know everything because if you're going to be working there as an employee, you want to know what do people say about people here, and is there patterns that you're seeing? Is it bad food? Is it bad service? If you've read over and over again that the restaurant is dirty, that's probably something you're going to look at when you walk into that restaurant for the interview. So another thing you can do after you've seen some of these reviews on Yelp is talk about it with the hiring manager. You might just bring it up and say, I saw a lot of people said X, Y, and Z about the restaurant. And I was just curious, are these just really opinionated guesses? Or, is this something that's been going on at the restaurant? And you'd be surprised. Most hiring managers are okay with talking about things and are going to be impressed that you've looked into that. And they might just, roll their eyes and push the question aside, but they also might have a valid reason for why some things have happened. Maybe they've had a change in staff recently. Maybe they've got a whole bunch of new employees. So the service isn't quite what it was in the past. But it gives you the opportunity to clarify whatever sort of reviews you've been seeing with them. And just make sure that you're walking into a good situation. So the fourth place I'm going to send you for your research is the restaurant social media. So this could be a Facebook page or an Instagram, but you're trying to see where are they? Do they post on a regular basis? Kind of, maybe it's employee driven, so you've got people taking pictures of whatever they're eating, or maybe it's something like they talk about some of the events that they've put on, and maybe they do charities. But you kind of just want to know what happens in the day-to-day version of the restaurant and what that looks like. And so finding those social media platforms is just a really great way to see the really behind the scenes of that particular restaurant instead of just the corporate overview of the restaurant. All right, so we've learned the 4 ways to research the restaurant before you get to the interview, and the 5th way happens while you're at the interview. And that's really just while you're there talking to the hiring manager. You just want to really make sure that you're spending time being focused, that you're looking at what's going on in the restaurant, that you're paying attention and you're watching, and you're thinking to yourself, is this a place that I would like to work? Does this make me excited being here? Does it feel like a team that I want to be a part of? Does this hiring manager and the other managers that you might meet, do they feel like good people that you want to work for? Because let me tell you, that makes a huge difference and can make or break a restaurant experience. And so you just want to make sure that you're spending time doing the research and that you're thinking about it while you're there, and that you're not just nervous and concerned about your interview and how you're answering these questions. So a great time to do that usually is when you've got downtime. So you might have a few minutes right when you walk into the restaurant before you get sat down to just kind of watch and observe. or even during the interview. The hiring manager might get called away to go deal with something, so it's also a good time just to see what's happening and just to be aware of what's going on around you. So that's it. Those are the 5 ways to research a restaurant before you get the job, just to make sure that's a good fit and that you're really excited to work there and that it would be a good place for you to work and that you would be a good fit. I hope your interview goes really well and you find a restaurant that's a great fit that makes you really excited to be there. That's really important. If you want to see more videos like this and you haven't already, again, click that subscribe button over there and give us a thumbs up. And we'll be chatting with you real soon. All right, thanks for watching this. Bye.